All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are live. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real American. Guys, we have a bunch of people here to talk Texas, to talk California, to talk about everything that's been going on today. So stay tuned. And if you like the stream, give it a share, show your friends, give it a like, send a super chat if you want me, if you want Rap, if you want anybody here that is co-hosting to answer your questions. Always keep it in mind. But yeah, today we have Rap, who's going to be here for a while. Hello. So we have Rap.
Everybody. What's up? I just want to say I decided to take decided to join the stream today because a lot of shit happened the last couple of days. So I thought it's a good time for me to make my not a return, but just a cameo, I guess. So I hope everyone's doing good. I'm doing great myself. So. And by the way, John, your stream's showing you're on a different screen, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, here. Wait, we're not gonna talk about Paxton yet. I'm pulling up the farm stuff. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is actually a good one. Okay, yeah, but we have a couple different things. We have to talk about Paxton. We have to talk about the farms. We have to talk about everything else. But our other guests, we have Real Texan.
Hello.
And we have Poster Tubbs. I know we have a couple of very hardcore Poster Tubbs fans that I did not expect at all in the Rap fan base.
My hardcore fans.
No, like seriously, the last time you were here, there someone was like, "Is that the Poster Tubbs? Is that him?"
Poster Tubbs.
Yes, yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy, dude. Luke is not here. He'll probably pop in. Don't worry. He'll have something to yap
also
about.
A lot of hardcore Luke fans.
Should have kept tradition and had Rap show up 2 minutes late. No, I was trying to be on time, but I've had a setting wrong in my OBS. Anyways, yeah, he's not in my basement. He's working on his passions. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
come on.
I should announce that there are 2 documentaries coming in August. That's what I'm gonna say. There's 2 big long videos for sure. There'll be a couple shorter ones, but I do got the I'm working on the Obama video right now, and I want to work on a different one. But yeah, that's kind of the 2 main ones. The Obama Coalition's video I've wanted to do for 5 years now. So yeah, I'm working on it right now. It should be out early August sometime. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into the news. I don't remember where that's from. I don't know. Oh, that's cute story. American Nerd for 2. Welcome back, Rap. Also, is Paxton cooked?
I think that's the first story of the day we got to talk about.
Okay. I'll let you guys talk about Paxton.
Right. But actually, before that, make sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, join the channel. And if you have any questions, concerns, want to support the channel even further, you can send super chats via the chat. So, yeah. So support the content.
Okay. So we have our first bit. I'm really just gonna let you guys talk about this. I'm not Texan, but we have Texan here. We have Rap, who knows a lot about Texas. I'm just gonna read this from State Senator Angela Paxton. Today, after 38 years of marriage, I filed for divorce on biblical grounds. I believe marriage is a sacred covenant, and I have earnestly pursued reconciliation. But in light of recent discoveries, I do not believe that it honors God or is loving to myself, my children, or Ken Paxton, to remain in the marriage. I move forward with complete confidence that God is always working everything together for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. So State Senator Angela Paxton filing for divorce with her husband, Ken Paxton, running for Texas Senate.
Yeah, so this is kind of the big story out of Texas from yesterday, I think it was. Yeah. So, yes. There were rumors about this for a couple years now that, something maybe not right with the Paxtons. But it is confirmed now that, yeah, they are getting a divorce, which, I find it funny they say it's biblical grounds for divorce, which there really isn't, but you could argue maybe there is based on some readings. By the way, it's like, it usually means it's a pretty bad thing that happened with Paxton. That's usually what it means when they say it's on biblical grounds, which it really isn't. Now, we don't know exactly what happened here, but I'm assuming the next couple days we will get information about why they're getting a divorce, theoretically, right? Will we get something out of this?
Well, none of it's going to be good. Even if it's not what
Yeah.
we're all assuming, it's not going to be good because biblical grounds means she's already accusing him of something. And the things that she could be accusing him of under like Old Testament divorce law, it would have to be something like spousal abuse, something where an endangerment of the family, the children, herself, or what we're all already thinking because there's been rumors for, I think, about 2 years now floating around. Ken Paxton has been having affairs with other women, and she has been holding her tongue up until now.
Which makes sense because now he's running for Senate, and probably.
Yeah, it's very vague. They don't make it clear what's going on.
Well, it's kind of clear it's not good. That's all we know. It's not good stuff.
Now, here comes the question. So what should Paxton do with the campaign?
I think it depends what it is. You know, if it's like they had an affair or something, that's bad, but it's not like in 2008 where like an affair would kill your campaign. That's not really the case anymore. Now, if it's something like really bad, like they abuse somebody, that's a different story, but
Well, this is also Texas, and it's a very evangelical
that's
state.
true.
So...
Yeah, but a lot of evangelicals in the South, I mean, a lot of like the pundits especially, don't they get divorced like 5 times?
But on the other hand, you're also, I mean, this is also someone that's trying to primary out an incumbent senator.
Yeah.
American Nerd for 2, biblical grounds, sounds like adultery. Sounds like adultery to us too.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
The scary part is that's probably like best case scenario for Paxton.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, if it's just this, like, you could say, well, you know, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. I wasn't faithful. At least you could argue that. If it's something worse than that, which there are some things he could have done, I guess, yeah, he's done. But right now, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Chance for 5. What's poppin', Patriots? Big shout out to Real Texan for following me back. I say we recruit Wesley Hunt. We don't need Cornyn. He sucks.
Yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen. I think Wesley's going to run.
My opinion right now, I think, I mean, this is a family matter. I think Paxton should drop out of the race.
I agree. You know, if they're really going to divorce, like, yeah, he could. I still think he wins a primary because Cornyn sucks, but I don't know. Maybe it's best for him to drop out.
It also probably could depend on what happens in the polls, and it's also possible that, you know,
the reason the reason I'm a little bit less confident is because of recency and loose ends not being tied up. So people keep like saying, well, you know, Donald Trump tied up all of any of his potential extramarital affairs. He married Melania. The premise is he has not had an affair with anyone after marrying Melania. And he tied that up like about a decade before he even started running for office. And so it was very far away. It was very distant, out of the public mind. This is a year before Paxton's running for the Senate. And it's really close, and it's in everybody's minds, and it's going to be all over attack ads. And so that's part of why we do it. I think everybody in this chat wants to just watch and wait for the polls and see if Paxton can keep his lead. Yeah, no. I mean, on a personal basis, I just have this very personal vendetta against people that are in extramarital affairs or cheating. But again, it doesn't really matter because I'm not a Texan, so I'm not voting for it. So what were you going to say about it, though, Texan?
I mean, I guess it probably just depends on like how the polls go. If he does drop a substantial amount, it is possible that Trump just pulls the lever for Cornyn.
Well, apparently a little while ago, it was reported that Wesley Hunt was on Air Force One with Trump earlier today. With John Cornyn
and Cornyn, yeah.
Yes, so...
Maybe... this is a take of mine, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. What if Cornyn makes a deal and says, look, I will retire, but it has to be Wesley Hunt. It gets your endorsement.
I'm fine with that. Wesley Hunt is pretty good.
But if I could see it. The problem, though, is that if Cornyn is endorsing Wesley Hunt, that could give him a bad look.
That's a problem. But Wesley Hunt's better than John Cornyn. That's a fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Cornyn
obvious.
needs
I
to
mean,
go.
and more than likely, yeah, if Cornyn were to endorse Wesley Hunt, so would Trump. Now,
John
on the other
Cornyn's
hand,
like
I've
a.
also now on the other hand, it didn't also was Trump also trying to get Ronnie Jackson to run for the seat?
That's another one. Yeah, Ronnie Jackson might run. That might be Trump's personal pick right now. But
yeah, and that's Trump's personal doctor. So
yeah,
The thing is Cornyn is like one of the worst Republican senators. So
yeah.
like, I mean, I'm not a huge like. I'm very skeptical of Ken Paxton for obvious reasons, but no, Cornyn needs to go as much. Like Cornyn cannot be in the Senate for another 6 years. That's just a waste of a seat. Like people think Cruz is bad. Cruz is like cringe, but he's not a terrible senator in the grand scheme of things. Cornyn has horrible.
Right.
Yeah, actually,
Everybody.
I can pull up America First Insights right now.
Oh yeah. While he's
Yeah.
pulling up America First Insight, I got a couple super chats. American Nerd for 2. Is Paxton the Texas version of Mark
No.
Robinson now? American Nerd for 2. Should Nels or Gill replace Paxton in the primary?
That's interesting. That's an interesting one.
I like that, but I don't. If they're not rumored to run, I wouldn't go with them right now.
And American
I mean,
Nerd for 2 again.
just-
Is Wesley Hunt good? I don't know much about him.
He's good. He's good.
Wesley Hunt's somebody that's, he's not perfect, but he's gonna reliably vote for everything Trump wants. That's Wesley Hunt.
He would be an acceptable replacement.
Yeah. So Wesley Hunt on America First Insight right now has an A. So that's pretty good. John Cornyn, meanwhile, has a. Where is it at? John Cornyn.
I thought he didn't read to senators.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Actually, Senate found it. John Cornyn's actually been an A this term, but that's because he knows the primary is happening.
Well, look at his issues, because whenever I look at the scorecard, let me see. Cornyn, Texas. Usually he shows the issues still ranked. Oh yeah. So Cornyn has an F on social issues and a D on economics.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh,
yeah, it's
goodness.
only a couple issues, so it's like right now it's a little bit early. Right now.
Yeah.
So it's gonna change a little bit, but John Cornyn's been better this term, but that's again because he knows he's screwed in the primary.
Right.
I would say Wesley Hunt's better by default.
This is my whole thing. There's other issues where we have this problem. We're talking to people and they're like, well, look, he's doing the things we want him to do. When you put a politician under pressure and then like not of their own volition, but when they feel as if they're in danger, they start going into survival tactics. That's not representative of how they're always going to vote. That's just representative of how they're going to vote until you stop paying attention.
John Cornyn literally is a gun grabber in Texas. I mean, that's insane. But
yeah, in the polls, Cornyn is like only performing 2 points better than Paxton. Now this is pre-divorce, but still, I don't really believe. I mean, Cornyn did well in 2020, but I don't think the electoral juggernaut argument for him is going to be as strong in 26.
Yeah, but that's also Trump. That's like Trump agenda Cornyn.
Yeah, this is Cornyn realizing, oh, I'm screwed, so I have to shill for Trump.
Someone asking why he has an A on immigration. I think that just has to do with him voting for the big beautiful bill. I think that's and the Lake and Riley Act. That's pretty much it. But we have a couple super chats.
Okay,
Inari for 5. Possible new scum excuse. We need child labor. Who else will pick my good old Mary Jane?
We'll get to that. We're
getting to that. I'm so pissed off about that. So just hang tight, chat.
Charlie Howard for 5. Good to see you back, Rap. I'd like the opinion of Ola on stream. Which potential GOP candidate North Carolina's open Senate seat can realistically beat Cooper? My take is Lord Trump. There, I said it.
Yeah, Lord Trump.
I think Lord Trump.
I think you fight a big name. You fight a big name with a big name. I think that's what you do.
Okay, Ronnie Jackson is a B+ on AFI, so that's
all right. Brandon Beetle for 5. Brandon Herrera, he came within striking distance of at least a House seat he ran for, and people legit like him. I don't think he's ever get the Trump endorsement, though. That's a problem. Trump's never gonna back him because about the Barron stuff, which is always overblown, but still. Chance of Jurassic for 5. Who should replace Bondi? I get the feeling her days are numbered. If Trump wants to win back some of the base that are angry right now, he should. We'll get to the Pam Bondi stuff in a little bit.
Jason Mieres.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. Someone's asking what happened.
That'll have to be after he loses, though.
We can talk about Bondi. We can talk about a few different things. I have a few topics open, but I guess we can go ahead. People are asking about the farms. Let me go ahead and pull up. Yeah. So
overall about Paxton, just he should drop out, replace him with like Wesley Hunt.
I'll just say wait and see.
Ronnie Jackson or whatever.
Yeah. Look, the goal that everybody has agreed on is get Cornyn out, which means we have to back the best horse if Paxton's about to tank. Okay. Eric Daugherty breaking. It has been revealed that the massive immigration raid in Camarillo, California, potentially the largest ICE raid that has happened this entire term, is against a marijuana farm that is suspected of massive illegal hiring schemes per Fox LA. Hundreds of workers may have been detained. We are getting lots of footage out of it. It continues getting worse the longer and longer you read about the story. This is from Bill Milligan. Breaking regarding the ongoing ICE and Border Patrol raid at a marijuana farm in Camarillo. 3 senior federal officials tell me the DHS has a criminal justice search warrant signed off by a federal judge for 8 U.S.C. 1324, harboring of illegal aliens. I'm told the operation is ongoing, will result in hundreds of arrests when the dust settles, making it potentially one of the largest single operations we've seen in the Trump admin. I'm told HSI obtained evidence that Glass House Farms is employing illegal aliens. They went to a federal judge. Okay, so all of it's kosher. All of it's kosher. And I had some clips pulled up of the stuff going on. It's not just people running away from tear gas or something. They're throwing giant boulders at ICE vehicles. They're actually opening fire against the children. And of course, the Homeland Security, the actual official government account for Homeland Security, made this point from Gavin Newsom's post. Gavin Newsom said, kids running from tear gas, crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Trump calls me new scum, but he's the real scum. And this is the quote tweet. Why are there children working at a marijuana facility, Gavin? Gavin? Why are the I'm trying to find the specific one. Yeah, and here's the footage. There's footage. Chat. There's footage of them shooting at the actual ICE workers. The raiders coming in, and there's a guy opening fire at them. So I don't think he actually harmed anyone. It's just really pathetic. Okay, here we go. This was actually the other post that I was, no, this is the other one. I'm looking for the one that they're talking about the unaccompanied minors. Where the crap did I put that one? So anyways, the news is that there were 10 minors, juvenile children. So not like teenagers, juvenile children found at the farm. 8 of them were unaccompanied. So 2 of them had parents there working with them. 8 of them were unaccompanied, guys. And I just want you to understand what that means. It's not like, their parents were waiting at home. No. Child traffickers took them over the border for one reason or another. They were sold to them by their parents. They're here to do whatever they can to try and make a new life. And that involves doing anything that these employers make them do. You don't have to pay. The thing is, even with an adult illegal, they pay them those tiny wages because they could go and find other illegal labor to do. A child does not have the same mobility as an adult. These children illegals, they're on these farms working with no regulation, probably no pay, just food. And they're doing, not even making produce, they're making marijuana. Making marijuana. This is the single least defensible thing that the Democrats or Gavin Newsom could have ever possibly shown. And the point that I want to make to everyone right now is that, why do you think they're trying to make a giant moral panic out of this? Why do you think they want us to stop doing these raids? It's because the longer we dig into their illegal labor schemes, the more evil shit we're going to find. And right now we've come to the point of child slaves. So we got some super chats. You want to grab them, Rap?
Yeah, I got a couple super chats to read. Let's see here. I think there we go. Cherokee Bear for 3. Fingers crossed Cornyn drops out like Tillis. I think he might if we get Wesley Hunt to run. We'll see. Chance Drazik for 2. As for North Carolina, I don't think Cooper's going to run. I'm hearing conflicting things about that. They're trying to give him the run, but we'll see. Tabatu for 2. Paxton and Gates for assistive role at the DOJ. I mean, maybe. With what's probably going to happen to Bondi in a little bit, maybe. We'll see. Simple logic for 5. When Tim Pool says Trump says bring the boot down, then you know the left has gone too far in regards to this anti-ICE violence. Well, it's insane. Now we're uncovering the fact that kids are working in these fields for weed. It's not even food. It's for weed.
Gunter Eagleman, one of the MAGA, influencers, was responding to Jimmy Gomez about, child trafficking for slave labor. And then Jimmy responds with Epstein.
Are you serious?
But Epstein. Yeah. Oh, go shut the fuck up.
Can I answer this? Because I'm not giving my Epstein stuff. Listen, guys. I'm furious with the Epstein files. The way that Pam Bondi and them have handled this is stupid. Trump's got to wake up to this. This is insane. But, guys, for every bad thing that Trump does like that, the Epstein files was a debacle, the PR is a nightmare. Guys, can you really say that that's more important than this? The human trafficking that's going on? Well, for child labor. It's slave labor that's going on right now.
One of the entire foundations of this country was, all men are created equal, and that means we can't have slave labor. We can't have slave labor. And they tried to browbeat and destroy the entire identity of this country under the foundation that, you guys had slaves for 80 years. That's so horrible. You don't really believe in equality, which is why you need communism, why you need all of our bullshit, why we get to completely replace everybody in your country with random people from across the world. No. They are doing the exact fucking thing that they're using as the excuse to destroy our country. They have child slaves, the most vulnerable, unprotected class of people in the world are being used to make marijuana for indulgent, excessive, upper middle class liberals in New York and California. No, go fuck yourself. I do not care. What? There is no excuse. The Epstein files. Listen, we can talk about Epstein files another time. That's not a fucking excuse for child labor. You say, he didn't do a thing that I wanted him with the Epstein case, so now I get to endorse child labor. Those are two fucking different situations, dude. That you are full of shit. Whoever that guy was, you're full of shit. Oh my gosh. No,
real text. Can you find that tweet? Can you find that tweet?
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane. That guys, obviously, I want the Epstein files to be released. Now, again, they're finally starting to answer why they can't release all of it for obvious reasons, that no one wants to see that shit, obviously. But what do you think's more important?
Some of it was probably also destroyed, but
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. But what would you rather have? Would you rather deal with the human trafficking operation that's going on right now, that's involving kids in slave labor? I mean, we're talking what is it now, 30 million people or whatever? There's 30 million people that are here illegally. A lot of them are slaves, effectively. Or the Epstein files. Obviously, I'm going to pick the deal with the child labor stuff now.
Although you ask, the people burning the MAGA hats, they probably, they're Epstein first, so.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the tweet from, I found it.
I pulled it. A Texan pulled it up for us. I have it right here. Jimmy, you support child trafficking for slave labor? Now we know. And then care to comment on Epstein? They're talking about Epstein. Do you know why they're talking about Epstein? It's not because Jimmy Gomez gives a shit about anything with the Epstein files releasing. He's saying that because he knows you're bothered by it. He's saying that because he knows that he cannot defend what the fuck he's doing. He cannot defend it for a millisecond. That is why he's talking about Epstein. It's because he has to shift to some other issue. Listen, the aristocrats of every generation of humanity for thousands of years have did fucked up shit. And we have an aristocratic class, an oligarchy over our heads that has the largest amount of economic mobility of anybody on the planet, because they can fly on a plane and go wherever they want across the planet, instantaneously. Look, if Bill Clinton doesn't have some Jeffrey Epstein to help him find children, he can just fly to Southeast Asia. He can just go to Ladyboy Land and fuck children in Asia. It doesn't matter because they can do all the evil shit they want. It doesn't fucking matter about the files. But listen to me right now. This is something we can change right now. We can keep children from being exploited in our borders. We can keep children from being in indentured servitude, making marijuana for entitled little pieces of shit sitting on the coastlines of this country. We right now can stop this. We are trying to stop it. That's why we voted to get ICE funding. That's why we voted for border security. It's why we voted for all of this shit and why we got the big bill through, even though it sucks. The reason we did it is so that we can stop shit like this. And it pisses me off when people completely miss the point. When people try to deflect, when people try to push away. If you push away from this, you don't have a soul. And that's my rant. I'm just fucking.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, we're not talking about, the poor migrant. This is slave labor. It's literally slave labor of kids for weed. Which, by the way, I think it kills the whole argument. They were saying, we need these migrants for our food. Do we need food do we need weed to live? You want to consume weed, John? You want to consume it?
I've never consumed weed in my life. I grew up around pot smokers. There was a chain of pot smokers at my high school. I never got into it because I thought it made them look stupid. I thought it made them say stupid things. And again, and I didn't want to get into the trouble I got into was trouble I wouldn't get arrested over in high school. I'll just put it that way. And I think that this is the perfect picture of decadence. The decadence that the left is engaged in is, I will trade everything. I will trade my civilization. I will trade law and order. I will trade every semblance of a peaceful society if you give me weed, young, unpaid child. If you make weed for me in a consumable way, if you can go on the farm, work 18 hours a day, and you can get my little weed pack wrapped up for me so that I can have cheap marijuana after my Taco Bell, I will trade the world away for it. You are a fucking evil piece of shit. There is nothing that I see no redeemable quality in you as a human being. I think you are the scum of the earth. I don't think you deserve to be here. You deserve to be here less than the illegal migrants. I just don't have the legal right to deport you or send you to a Salvadorian prison. I would do the most horrible things to you imaginable if it were legal. It's not. But again, in a different time period, we would be doing unspeakable things to these people. The Taco Bell aristocratic class using indentured child slave labor for their cheap fucking marijuana fix. No, that is not what America is to me. I don't think it shouldn't be what America is to any of you. It's not what America is to me, at least.
I mean, wow. You definitely cooked. Let me give you a breather. Let me just read a couple super chats. American Nerd for 2, the left likes to think weed is food. Yeah, this is the crap they want. I mean, this is insane. Cherokee Bear for 5. Any bets they're going to be home video in 1997 Newsom using the N-word? I don't know. Henry Hooker stand for 2. We fought a civil war in the 1860s because of this. I mean, just, how can anyone defend this? I mean, you literally have people in Congress saying, this is perfectly normal. This is perfectly fine. Guys, how much money do you think these kids are making per hour? Anything?
Well, I don't think the kids are making anything,
probably,
like I said.
Probably. I mean, if they're even being paid, it's probably less than, $7.25 an hour.
We estimated that the labor that the adults are making is between $18,000 and $27,000, and that was based off of a farmer giving an average wage he would give to one of these people. So it is well below, standards. It's well below what any of you would go if you went and tried to start flipping burgers at McDonald's or doing Uber Eats drives. You would make more than these people do instantaneously. But the thing is that an adult illegal, if they don't like the working conditions or whatever, there's some other plantation they can go to. They usually have a car that was gifted to, they usually have a car. They don't have a license, but they have a car that they can drive over to another illegal plant for them to work at if the conditions are bad or anything like that. But you guys have to understand, the child cannot like drive himself somewhere else. The child cannot physically move himself. He can't walk to the other place that he could work at. There's no mobility. There might as well be shackles on these people. We're not seeing shackles around these children because they have nowhere to go, because they know if they got caught by actual law enforcement that they would be put in, they would either be put in containment or they would be taken to another country or something else. They know there's nowhere for them to go in polite society or anywhere else. So, and of course they don't know where to go. They're children. There might as well be shackles on these children. They have no way of changing their circumstance. So my opinion, I don't think these children get jack shit. They get enough maybe to buy a candy bar or some shit at the gas station. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it's nothing.
American Nerd for 10. Breaking from a leading report, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino took a leave of absence following a White House dispute with Attorney General Pam Bondi. Yeah, that's going to be the other big story we'll get to. But, guys, this just proves why the issue of illegal immigration as a whole, but especially illegal immigration right now, it's a moral issue. This is the crap that happens with illegal immigration especially. This is the crap that happens.
Well, Captive Dreamer Martin, he was making a post earlier that I was going to show, which was basically him saying it's a very smart tactic raiding a weed farm, because no matter what you find there, no matter what horrors you find that business is engaged in, there's no way to defend it. And that's why, again, as you can see, there is no defense. So Democrats are trying to change the subject. But here, Martin made another post. He said, I should raid some brothels in California. See, this raid a bar, see if they have illegal alien children working at the brothels. I guarantee you that is taking place. I guarantee you that we have.
Speaking of ice raids, we talk about the Ice Block app and how people are using it.
Yeah, sure.
So, I don't know if this is actually legit or not, but apparently people have been using the Ice Block app to reports of false ice raids at grocery stores, and then basically watches all the people flee.
Bruh.
And then the grocery stores are empty.
How many illegal immigrants are in America? I've been thinking more about this recently.
Closer to 50 million. If you're talking about from Hart Keller till today, people that just have not ever gone to the authorities and tried to get papers, it's around 50 million.
It's probably that, or you also probably have some Hispanics that think that they're just going to be targeted because they're Hispanic, even if they're legal.
This is bad.
Well, so they're avoiding certain businesses. They're staying off the roads, which is why California, arguably the most dangerous place to drive a car on the highway, the deadliest highway in California now, is kind of a breezeway. It's pretty fun. You just drive on it. There's hardly any traffic, and we've been getting countless videos of that. We've talked about that, and we've noticed that people are using Ice Block app. We've joked around about, hey, you want to go to the movies? Well, make sure to use the Ice Block app so that you don't see any illegals there. Tell them that they're going to the movie theater that you want to go to. Whatever it is, I don't care how people use the Ice Block app, because the Ice Block app's purpose is to interfere with law enforcement and to endanger law enforcement, by the way. The purpose of it is to endanger law enforcement, to get them shot, to get them killed. And if you want to say, talk about some other small use purpose, it doesn't matter. What matters is that there probably will be law enforcement officers murdered using this app if it were being used properly. There's no excuse. No excuse at all.
All right. Chance Razik for 5. Watch vlogging through history's latest of reaction the other day. It was about presidents with bad second terms. Damn, I forgot how bad Bush's second term was. Oh yeah, his second term was awful. Probably one of the worst in history. So.
His approval dropped to 20 or something. So. 2006 was probably the last legit blues tsunami we've ever had, and probably will ever have.
The political demon for 10. Mine talk about Curtis, Nebraska. I sent real text and analysis of how rural clinics/hospital closures have occurred since 1980s because TDS patients think the BBB was the sole cause of the closures. What's that about?
Oh, yeah. Let me go find those messages real quick. I forget who sent them, but I will. Oh, yes, okay. So in Curtis, Nebraska, there's a medical center that closed, like a rural medical center that closed, and they blame the big beautiful bill or the Medicaid cuts or whatever.
Great. All right. So, I think before I have to head off for a little bit, I guess we could switch over to the Pam Bondi stuff that kind of broke.
Pam Bondi stuff. All right, I have a few things. I have the Axios article. Scoop: FBI's Dan Bongino clashes with AG Bondi over the handling of Epstein files. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino took a day off from work Friday after clashing at the White House with Attorney General Pam Bondi over their handling of Jeffrey Epstein files. 4 sources familiar with the conflict told Axios. So let's see here. Bongino did not come to work Friday, leading some insiders to believe he had quit, but administration officials say he's still on the job as internal tension over the Epstein case continues. Let's see. I'm looking at a few of these things. Talking about the missing minute in the video. Some people saying that Trump loves Pam Bondi, but that the base wants her fired. Let's see.
I mean, that is kind of true.
Trump's got to wake up. He's got to fire Bondi.
During the meeting, Bongino was confronted about a News Nation article that said he and Patel wanted more information released about Epstein earlier, but were held back. Bongino denied leaking that idea. Quote, Pam has said her piece. Dan has said his piece. It didn't end on friendly terms, said one person briefed on the heated discussion. Bongino left angry. Quote, the fact is, Dan was for releasing the information with the video and had no problem until he got heat online, a senior admin official told Axios. Quote, Bongino found the video with the missing minute. He vouched for it as a thorough review, he said, and he thought this would end the matter. When that didn't work, he lost his mind and ran out of D.C., another person says. A pro-Bongino source says, quote, Dan is not the bad guy here. He shouldn't take the fall. So what do you guys make of this?
I mean, he was getting a lot of. I mean, he was getting a lot of backlash online after they basically gave up on the case.
You got to fire. You got to fire Bondi.
Yeah, it really Bondi's the one to blame. Patel. I mean, I don't really know if you want to blame Patel. Would you?
Patel, I don't like. I think Patel, like, he was kind of forced to say some of this stuff because Bondi just couldn't keep her mouth shut. So,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you consider it a minor elf on Patel's part, but it's Bondi.
It's Bondi.
The reason I want it pinned on Bondi is, number one, everybody has seen slowness and incompetence on her part for several other factors like that don't involve Epstein, like actually important things that change our lives. Epstein is about justice. It's about law and order. It's about not having a 2-tier justice system. But then there's a bunch of other stuff Pam Bondi's fallen short on that actually do impact our lives at the DOJ. And so I think Pam Bondi should be fired. As far as Kash Patel goes, again, as long as Kash Patel is continuing to decentralize out of DC FBI, that is good for all of us. If the FBI is continuing to be decentralized, I would like him to finish that work at least before you try and go replace him with someone allegedly better.
Let's see here. A couple super chats, I guess.
I mean, well, I will say first, I mean, my main problem with Bondi is it's not so much that they're like giving up on the case, which I mean, it's an L in itself. It's more that she lied.
Yeah, the messaging's been terrible. That's been my problem.
She flat out lied about having the information on her desk.
I mean, all they had to say, and this is the thing I don't get. All they had to say was, we have some evidence here, but there's a chance a lot of it was destroyed. We're going to investigate it. Which, oddly enough, there was a FOIA request, I think, Freedom of Information Act. They requested something. Apparently, there are investigations ongoing right now. So I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. I think, though, Bongino has had enough of Bondi. Good. It's about time somebody realized, oh, wait, Bondi sucks. So.
Yeah. It's been something you guys have consistently said. I held my tongue on it for a while. I looked, and I've been continuing to look for redeeming qualities, like, things that I can say positive. There's not really much of anything.
The redeeming stuff is what the FBI is doing, funny enough. The funny enough is all the good things Bonnie has done, when you look at it, it's Kash Patel doing it. Yeah. And Bongino. Like the human trafficking stuff. They're the ones doing it. And of course, Bonnie takes credit for it. But it's the FBI doing it. The FBI's one, which I'm not saying they're good, but at least they're doing their jobs, kind of. So. Chance Drazik for 2, and Dave Hale will still worship W. What a loser. Oh yeah, that guy loves Bush. Roku
which one?
He's that principled conservative guy.
What's his name?
Dave Hale.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Roku fan for 2. Bonnie's a Fox News contributor and part-time attorney general. Yeah. How many times did she be on Fox News the past week? 20?
Every day, probably.
It's every day. And you know how she could have solved a lot of this mess? She could have just done a press conference. She could have just held a press conference for an hour and that's it. No, she couldn't even do that. But Fox News is calling. Rodallo for 5. I just hope that if Trump gets rid of Bondi that he doesn't give us someone worse like what happened after Trump got rid of Sessions. I've heard some things about if they remove Bondi. I've heard some rumors, but I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to get anybody hyped up about it, but my guess it'll be somebody better. Like Bailey, maybe. I'm just naming a random person. Not saying it's gonna be him, but if they get rid of Bondi, I think it'd be an upgrade, just because they would do something. Mike for 2. Donald likes Bondi because she's a blonde, and that's it. I don't know.
He likes his blondes.
That's true. Well, he likes European women, so Eastern European women. American Nerd for 2. Who should be the new Attorney General? Bailey or Myra's? Yeah. And even for a couple months, put Matt Gaetz in there.
The way I would probably, here's what I would do. I would probably just promote the deputy to be the Attorney General, at least temporarily. And then Mieres, I guess, wait and see what happens. Obviously he's more than likely going to lose because of, Winston at the top of the ticket, completely fucking everything up. So Mieres will probably lose, and that's just going to happen anyways. So probably what would happen is after he loses, you just appoint him to be Attorney General.
All right.
And then just demote the deputy back to deputy.
Mike for 2. I really think Bonnie tanked our youth support. I think she hurt a little bit, but we'll see. Eric for 2. Bonnie became Attorney General to audition for Fox News. Yeah, basically. But all right, I think that's kind of it for me. John, it's your show again. Sorry for interrupting you, but
no, you're completely cool. I'm glad. Thank you for your contributions, sir. We're gonna have a couple more stuff to talk about, and then we're probably gonna have an early stream, guys. But we have a few more things to discuss. So
yeah, so I'm gonna head off, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I guess one more super chat, then I'll head off, and I'll be back maybe in August. We'll see. American Nerd for 2. Hear me out. Ed Martin for acting Attorney General. He would never get the votes. I love Ed Martin, but he couldn't get the votes for the District of Columbia.
No.
You expect to be Attorney General? No. He's doing a fine job, but just again, take a guess who's screwing him over. Take a guess who. Pam Bondi. Yeah, because he's at the DOJ right now. All right, we'll see you guys later. John, it's your show. Don't leave, guys. We're not in this stream. It's just I'm heading off. So yeah, good luck, John.
Yep. Thank you very much, Rap. See you soon. Let's see here. Sam Hyde for Attorney General. Very interesting prospect, but I think we're gonna pass on that one. So we talked about the farms. We talked about Paxton. We have one other thing, kind of election Twitter-esque news to talk about. There was stuff on the census. People are estimating now that a new census, whether it happens mid-decade, which is probably impossible, or if it happens at the end of the decade, that only counts U.S. citizens, could shift the country to the right by eliminating 25 to 30 liberal congressional districts. And this kind of ties into the stories we've been talking about. Texas trying to redistrict, Ohio trying to redistrict, et cetera, et cetera. How do you see the map changing, Texan, for Republicans if we were able to, in addition to redistricting, get a census that only has U.S. citizens on it? What do you think?
I imagine California would definitely lose a lot of seats.
Right.
New York maybe loses a few. Mainly California, probably. It probably wouldn't be like a whole lot, like half their seats, I doubt. It'd probably be like 5 or so, but maybe 10. I don't know.
It seems like a big shift because I already know that they inaccurately reported the 2020 census. So the 2020 census was already skewed towards the left anyways, but we fix those errors and then remove the counting of illegals from the citizen count. And if we're in charge of the census whenever it does happen, I see a lot of great things happening for Republicans. It seems like it's going to be very hard for Democrats to reclaim ground.
Big reason to vote for Vance.
Good reason to vote for Vance, guys. American Nerd for 5. How about this instead? Josh Hawley for AG and Andrew Bailey to replace him in the Senate, and Nick Schroer to replace him as MOAG.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Good work.
Good work. If you don't want Bailey to be Attorney General, you want Josh Hawley to do it. I don't mind that switcheroo. I don't know how much it would be feasible, like, or if the people involved want to do it, but I have no problem with Josh Hawley. I have no problem with Andrew Bailey. They seem like upstanding gentlemen. But yeah, no. So we have a lot of news coming in.
Well,
I just wanted to point out.
He is the one that went after. I should know, though. He is the one that went after Eric Greitens in Missouri, so he's probably going to have some backlash because of that.
Right. Stan in chat's actually. Well, I don't think we approve of self-promoting in the chat, but I will say Stan says he's doing videos on, I believe, the redistricting and potentially the census change. I think that's a topic a few different people have done. How the map would change after we remove illegals off of the census. Just wanted to point that out. Also, just wanted to show you the funny view. The Soy Jack and the Chad both talking about 25 to 30 liberal congressional districts disappearing. That was a deeply amusing me. We got stuff about layoffs. Wanted to talk about this, guys. Looks like about 2,145 senior NASA employees are leaving the agency under early retirement and or buyout offers. This seems to be part of the downscaling that was just approved by the Supreme Court. Looks like federal, executive branch stuff is getting mass layoffs. And that's just because you can't directly fire these people. You have to give them a deal or else they sue. And in addition, Rubio is expected today to have major layoffs come out of the department, if not today, then next week, for the State Department. As you guys know, we've talked about it before. All of these departments in the executive branch are massively overbloated, and it's the bureaucracy, these people that get paid there. They may not necessarily know what to do day to day, but when they find things to do, it harms you. Every single thing they find to do while they're there is making a legislation or a rule that makes it harder for businesses to operate or makes it harder for you to live a decent life. So I'm very glad whenever there's federal bureaucracy being trimmed, it is usually a good thing for you guys. Oh, maybe you have something to say about this story, though. We had this is a couple days old, but Douglas Mackey, back in 2016, he made this joke post that you guys can see here. I'll put it in general for you, Texan. He made a joke post about avoid the line, vote from home, text Hillary to 59925. And so he was making a joke about telling people to vote from home by texting on their phones. And this was just it was an innocuous joke he made in November 1st. And they tried to really destroy his life over this. They went and did it. Now, instead of just being a meme, this is government exhibit number 720. And the whole point of this is that they were trying to give him a 7-month prison sentence. Douglas Mackey got it overturned. Free speech. It's just a little bit freer today as a result. So do you like being able to make memes and not go to prison? Is that Is that something you're a fan of?
Very much so. Gavin Newsom just called Superman an undocumented immigrant.
Yeah, they're trying to shift to that because, of course, their morality, they can only express their morality through Marvel movies, through superheroes, through Star Wars and Harry Potter, because these people are children in adult bodies. You know the reason why
something else about Texas I wanted to point out, but
yeah.
So actually, the big news before the Paxton news came out was Jasmine Crockett was apparently apparently planning to run for Senate, or at least considering it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how legit it is, but there was that push pull from the NRSC that was trying to get her into the race.
I'd like to think Democrats have enough brain power left to recognize it's like, wait a second, we're trying to run the most liberal woman in Texas. We're trying the most leftist woman in Texas, the state that almost went plus 15 towards Trump. Maybe not the best idea, but again, these people have completely forgotten how to win. And so if they did make such a grave error, it would make for a deeply amusing Senate run next year. We have a couple of super chats.
I don't think Rocket would actually win the primary vote, especially because Texas is a runoff state.
Right.
Yeah, she did win that poll, but again, remember, it was like plurality and not by that much either. Her support base would really just be blacks and young people, and they're not really a big primary electorate, so take that as you will. It's going to be all red.
Right. So American Nerd for 3, how many of those NASA people were Germans? Lol. If you're talking about immigrants, you need to look at the argument that happened a few months ago between Vance and a few other people. Much smaller percentage of the people working at NASA than you would think. American Nerd for 2, still want to see the new Superman movie. The main reason that I bring up this is because if you go and you look at the things that Superman represents, what are the virtues of Superman from his golden silver age depictions and stuff? You're looking at selflessness, not selfishness. You're looking at courage, not cowardice, truth, justice, and I guess now compassion, because liberals have forgotten how to have compassion for children being used for slave labor. But regardless, all the virtues that Superman represents are things that the left rejects. And the left says you should be as selfish as possible. You should be so selfish that you force people, you impose your identity upon other people. You should be so selfish that you get to do things to their children without legal consequences. These are the kinds of things that the left stands for nowadays. So, and of course, if to stand for justice, you have to believe in enforcing the law. And none of these people believe in enforcing the law. That's the problem. That's why they're crying about the marijuana farm getting raided. So, no, it's just mainly the reason that it's really hard to make a Superman movie nowadays is because the people making Superman movies don't believe in the values that Superman represents. That's kind of the point that I was making. It's okay. You want to go see the Sloppa movie? Everybody has their slop. I have my slop. You have your slop. You want to go watch Superman? You want to have fun? You want to shake your popcorn bowl and just have a good time? I'm not going to judge you. Just, keep in mind, that's why Superman really doesn't live up to his old image. That's really the only point. American Nerd for 2, why didn't Trump make Rubio the NASA director? Yeah, just give Rubio a new job. And I think Rubio needs a job more than anybody else. They're trying to talk about getting the Medicaid recipients jobs. Why doesn't Rubio just work new jobs for the Medicaid recipients? Why is Rubio not working for me? I'm kidding. But no, the Bucky, the joke is just that he's working 7 jobs already. Okay, that's the joke. Dacian posters in control. Yeah, no, there's been a lot of memes coming out of the admin. We've had DHS come up and talk. We've had the White House post stuff. Let me actually just pull up the White House account and see what percentage of their posts are actually just memes right now. So I'm scrolling down White House. Let's see here. Yeah, they had this post that I think I pulled up before. But ICE raids marijuana farms filled with illegal aliens. Crying Jimmy, they're just strawberry pickers. That ain't produce, Holmes. That's product. And yeah, they did the SpongeBob meme where you're capitalizing and lowercasing the letters. They're just strawberry pickers. And they have a very strange crying face of him. They've been posting a lot about arresting child predators on here. So yeah, go White House for pointing out that we're getting rid of the child predators. Oh yeah, here we go. Rodney Scott. So this was the post I thought I had pulled up earlier, but did not pull up. Rodney Scott. 10 juveniles found at this facility, all illegal aliens, 8 unaccompanied. It's now under investigation for child labor violations. This is Newsom's California. Then there's a Trump Superman meme. Okay, so it's not they're not posting as many memes as I thought, but you always see all of the memes because they get reposted onto your timeline from all the different accounts. There's been so many memes from this admin for sure. Let's see.
Definitely.
Mr. M for 5. The left hijacks American culture, and when we try to substitute it with another, they try going after that too. It's a virus, right? Their point is to like there is no real building of any culture with the left. They've coalesced a bunch of people. This is what JD Vance is talking about. I'm going to make you guys watch JD Vance's speech with me. I'm going to make a video later, like making you guys watch the speech with me, because the point he made was there's nothing that Muslims and you know, sexual orientation radicals and like all these other people, feminists, whatever, these people, the thing they have in common is wanting to destroy American culture. Essentially, that's what they have in common. And so that they can't really build anything. They can only tear things down. K-Cup for 2 saw Superman yesterday. It had little to no woke. Very nice to hear, K-Cup. American Nerd for 2, isn't Superman the ideal assimilated immigrant? He does try very hard to blend in as Clark Kent, right? So he's doing what was it? Mom Donnie never would. Mom Donnie was complaining, whining about it. Was like, why do they think my clothes look weird? Why do they think my sandals are weird? Why do they think my beard is weird? Why can't I just be like an Arab Muslim sitting in New York and nobody look at me weird? That's so dumb. Yeah, so yeah, they just want to never assimilate. Clark Kent, however, deeply assimilated alien.
Mom Donnie is like Zod or whatever the bad guy's name is. It's Zod, right?
Yeah.
He's like the evil Kryptonian. Right, yeah.
Yeah. Rye Guy for 2. Aren't these leftists also obsessed with rap? I think you mean the music genre, not the guy. But I think they're pretty. Well, yeah, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with rap as a genre. It's just there's a lot of crimes are detailed in the genre of rap. So maybe that's what's making them anarcho-tyranny enjoyers. Who knows? Jet politics for 2. There is no truth but power for the left. Yeah, they have the opposite problem. You know how we keep like yelling at libertarians for not understanding power? The left only understands power. They are willing to destroy everything, throw out everything. They do not mind if there's nothing but ash and rubble left at the end. They just want to control you. That is at the end of the day their obsession. And you don't see it all the time in their voters. You see it a lot in their voters, but you always see it in their politicians. But yeah, we were talking about a couple of different things. Vance should just make Marco Rubio his entire cabinet. Oh goodness. Well, yeah, Tom, Superman can be seen as boring because we've like done it over and over again. I think it's fine. You want to let Superman rest for like 20, 30, 40 years and just not make like content about it. And then I think it would be reinvigorating and exciting if you just let it die for a little bit. I think it's a problem with like some of these long-term media franchises. Just nobody lets them sit. Nobody lets people forget and then remember. It's constantly being dragged up and beaten like a dead horse. If you got time, please talk. We already talked about the medical center closures, my dude. I think you wanted
to talk more about it.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I can talk generally about the system, but if the medical center thing specifically, do you have more of the information on it?
I'll send a Fred here. Let me look over. Let me send it. Here it is.
All right. Hashtag USA Nebraska Curtis Healthcare Medicaid. What this article failed to mention is that it wasn't just the Medicaid cuts that did the Curtis Medical Center in. It was a multitude of reasons before Biden took the oath of office. Before I can explain why they're closing, I want to go over to the trend of rural clinics and hospitals closing. Surprisingly, it's been going on since the 1980s, longer than I thought, early 2000s. In the early 1980s, NRHA estimated that rural clinics and hospitals had an annual closure rate of 10 to 15 by the mid-decade. The UNC Shep Center identified this period as the start of the noticeable decline, with approximately 100 to 150 closures occurring between 1980 and 1990. This was due to the Medicare Prospective Payment System, PPS, of 1983, a Medicare program that shifted clinic hospital investments from cost-based to fixed rates. This disproportionately devastated the rural clinics, hospitals that deal with high per patient costs, by essentially decreasing their expenses that's already too small for clinics to get all their needs paid for. Other factors include declining population, which means declining revenue, rising operating costs due to inflation, shift to managing care and competition to the expansion of HMO. One thing that I really would like to point out, it is about insurances, and HMOs is a type of insurance that you can have. You can have an HMO, you can have an EPO, you can have a PPO. Most people, if you're able to go to any doctor you want, you have a PPO plan, but these other plans, they require you to have specific primary care physicians that are in basically a cabal, that are in a cartel of different, I mean, I guess cartel is wrong because it's all legal. It shouldn't be legal, but it's all legal. You're in a cabal of other doctors working with a specific insurance company. And the thing is that a lot of these rural people have trouble getting deals with these insurance people. Their margins are too low. Their care is one of the most important things that we have, because people in rural areas are a lot more prone to not actually going and getting themselves treated. And when you have people that refuse to get themselves treated, you have people with much severely worse problems, because by the time they do go to the doctor, they're usually on the brink of, I don't know, losing all their teeth, losing their legs, losing, like dying. It's really bad. When you talk to a rural doctor, they deal with severe cases, much more severe than some of the cases, urban doctors do, simply because those people refuse to go get care. And there's a few other things I could talk about, but the bottom line is, and I'll keep reading your thread, but the bottom line is, the insurance companies are working with big pharma, and they're working with major medical, and the system that they have created makes it almost impossible, whether it's processing payments, getting insurance approval, anything else, and just getting reimbursement for costs. It makes it impossible for rural medical centers to actually properly function. That's why they're going out of business primarily. Now, again, in the bill, there were provisions made to help out rural hospitals. That was an amendment that was passed last minute to make sure we could get the big, beautiful bill passed. But if you're talking about the widespread problem, we have to attack the current forming vertical stack. I don't know if you guys have heard that term before, vertical stack of these businesses. And what that means is they're all trying to converge into one corporate business. When people talk about United Healthcare, reason people are so pissed off about United Healthcare controls every aspect of their own business. They control the drugs. They control the major medical. They functionally almost control the insurance that they work with. They control all of the levers of their systems of care. And when you have that, the things that a free market is supposed to help prevent, it's no longer allowed to be prevented when you allow monopolies like these to coalesce. It's really bad. And it's mostly, it is partially due to regulation. It's partially due to us just letting this giant monster form itself. We had okay, we didn't have any extra super chats, but we did have Maga Mal. We had Mr. Luke show up. How you doing, sir?
Hello, sir. Yeah. How's it going, guys? How's it going?
Luke, what's your thoughts on the PACs and stuff? We were talking about it earlier, but what's your thoughts?
No, I think he should drop out. And if he wants to beat Cornyn, I think he should put up a different candidate or get behind a different candidate. Yeah, I think he should drop out of the race.
Well, the good thing is right now, if he did it, before they say any more about him, he can say that he's doing it to take care of his family, right? and he can save a little bit of face himself.
But it doesn't look like he's going to do that. He might have some of the worst political instincts. Bro, the only thing bro has said is, look at our fundraising numbers. They're still super high. We're going to, he said that like an hour ago. It's like,
Oh
bro,
gosh.
you're not,
oh no.
just get out of this, bro. If you somehow win the primary at this point, you're going to make that seat more competitive than it needs to be in the general. Just get out. Like,
yeah,
find
I
someone
agree.
else.
And this kind of folds into what you're saying right now, Luke. Chance for 5. Lib ET is so delusional. Con election Twitter has some bad takes, no doubt, but they're more realistic. Lib ET thinks Dims can win in super red areas, even AOC. Look, we're talking about one of a very red state, like a Trump plus 13, 14 state in Texas. And here we're having this conversation about, we're not saying, oh, just run Paxton. It's Texas. We can win no matter what. No, we're actually having a conversation. We're being like, well, do we need to swap Paxton out for a better candidate? There's so much.
Meanwhile, now Dems are talking about how they need to run an Islamist communist in a Trump state in the Michigan Senate race. Dems are openly talking about how they need to run this.
Which guy?
Abdul El Sayed. This guy is
run somebody named Abdul El Sayed. That's a
Grand Rapids is gonna love that, bro. Grand Rapids.
Oh, but Barack Hussein Obama won Michigan by 17 points.
Yeah, that means you can run like a Muslim communist, like another Zoran. I feel like dude, at least change your fucking name. Like if you're gonna run,
did Obama call to seize the means of production in 2008? I don't think he did.
He Obama was culturally white, but or at least pretended to be. But that's something people completely forget about, especially leftists and some people on the right too.
Yeah.
Oh, Lyndon Johnson ran a pro-black campaign and won Texas.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're being very intelligent,
1960.
I think, with the midterms. These people who are shitty candidates, we're just being like, get out. This isn't your time. Nobody cares. Yeah, Paxton, get out. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. What you did was pretty disgusting, and I don't think you deserve a Senate seat either. So,
I don't really... in terms of moral imperative, I absolutely don't want. I would be very childish to not to think that there weren't a billion Ken Paxtons already in our system, but that
there
doesn't.
Are plenty.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that I want another one in there, and it's not my choice to vote. But it looks like, based off of what everybody's saying, that he's gonna stay in the race for a bit. He sounds like, oh, look how much money we raised. Look at all the stuff we're doing. And so to Tristan's comment in chat, he says, I don't think many people care if Paxton had an affair. Maybe we are in an era of politics where people have stopped caring about certain things. We'll see if it's an overreaction on our part.
With that, yeah, in a primary, it might not have that much effect. But the problem is the general. And he'd probably still win the general. I don't think Colin Allred would win, but this race would end up being a lot closer than it has to be. Think about it remember Steve King? He was that guy with a bunch of scandals in that safe Iowa seat. Yeah, he technically won, but he won by 3 points, and the Republican House Conference had to divert a shit ton of money to make sure we held that district in 2018, which probably cost us several narrow seats. When you're talking about elections, it's not just, oh, even if he's going to barely win, he still wins. No, because that's money you have to spend there that could have been spent in Michigan, in Georgia, North Carolina, in Maine.
Right.
In these other states, yeah.
Right. So we're trying to have we're really trying to win nationwide, and we're trying to keep all of these races in concert. We're trying to think about it as a system. And yeah, so that is a big difference between people on conservative election Twitter and people elsewhere. I wanted to pull up, somebody mentioned Mike Collins' latest tweet. I'll put it in general for you guys. He actually quote tweeted one of my mutuals, Napoleon Bonaparte Appreciator. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up on stream. Napoleon said, in the span of 10 to 15 years, the population of Australia and Canada have been replaced with foreigners and children of foreigners. And he pulled up a couple of articles talking about the projections of when they'll become a minority, when the native population will become a minority in Canada and in Australia. It's very soon. And then Mike Collins, the man that received $9.44 from APAC. No, he said, this is coming to America if we don't stop it. This is not a hypothetical scenario. The America we know today will be unrecognizable if we do not protect it. So there you go. That's pretty base. That's enough to get a follow for me. I'll say that much. But good on Mike Collins for pointing that out.
But he's unelectable because of his Twitter, which he's tweeted some stuff before that may not look good in the general election.
I think that was a staffer who was tweeting that out, but we call them noticers. That's all I'll say on that front.
Well, I mean, like,
there were some interesting people.
What is GA10? He's in Georgia 10. Is Georgia 10 like a very red seat? Do you guys know? Like, I mean, if it's red enough, who cares? Hold on.
I'm talking about the Senate race.
Which Senate race?
Georgia.
The Georgia Senate. Oh, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts right now on that?
I mean, I'd like for Collins. I mean, Collins would be a great senator. I don't know.
I have heard
it's kind of high risk, high reward, in my opinion.
I have heard though in Georgia that all the candidates who are kind of like soft announcing now is just noise. Down in a couple months, both Trump and Kemp are going to get a consensus pick. That's what they're trying to figure out right now. They're going to get both of them to endorse one candidate, and then once that happens, everyone else is going to drop out. And that guy's going to just like get crowned the nomination because then he'll have the Trump and Kemp machines behind him.
That sounds like what they're doing in Louisiana, from what I've heard, because I think that's why they're trying to get. Because I've heard a consensus pick for Jeff Landry and Trump is Julia Letlow.
Yeah, I don't think Trump wants to endorse against Cassidy yet, though, because then Cassidy would just turn against him for the rest of his term in the Senate. So I think he's going to wait pretty late to do an endorsement in that race.
Or just like or maybe like co-endorse or something, because Cassidy has voted for the agenda. But
I do want to point this out since you guys are talking. What you're talking about the Georgia Senate and like if Mike Collins would run or whatever. I do want to point out in the recent elections, Mike Collins outperformed Trump in his district. So
I will say though, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really take too much into account if people overperform in safe districts because there is the fact that in those districts, there's like it's solid. No one's campaigning there. Half the time, the candidate is just on there because the party selected them. Like that person probably didn't even have a campaign website. So I don't really go over that. Usually, incumbent House representatives do overperform their party at the top of the ticket. That's just generally what happens. So I don't think it's a unique sense of strength. If it's a swing district and they overperform by a decent amount, that's saying something. But if it's a safe seat, I don't really take too much into account of that. I'm not saying he'd be a weak candidate. I'm just saying that that's probably not.
It just doesn't. You're saying it doesn't mean a whole bunch. Okay, K Cub for 2. Luke, how is Wisconsin GOP handling Bill Berrien?
Okay, I'm going to have a full video out about this guy today on this channel. It was going to be out yesterday, but then Phil Moore decided to leak the whole thing. This is what I will tell you guys. There's a lot of these candidates you're going to see in 2026 who put out these ads that look decent, but if you just do a little bit of research, you find out these guys are like jokes. Berrien is one of those people. Berrien was a Nikki Haley mega donor in 2024. He didn't endorse Trump in either the 2020 or 2024 general. And now he's coming out with this ad where he's basically like talking about how he's this like ultra mega candidate and he's like doing all this stuff. It's like, first of all, if you're just going to run as like a moderate Republican, like that's fine. Just do it then. Don't have this entire history and then just come back and pretend you're fully on board, because you're going to see a lot of this. And the whole video I'm going to upload is basically, I don't want to spoil too much while I get into it. It's how you need to do research into these candidates. Don't just look at one good ad people make, because those ads are made to appeal to you, you know? You have to take a look back, look at what these politicians were saying just a year ago, you know?
The guy's name Bill Berrien. Texan was asking about, the guy's name's Bill Berrien.
Yeah, if you live in Wisconsin and Tiffany doesn't run, which I don't think he will, back Josh Schoeman. Schoeman is the guy that all of the like America First type people in the state are getting behind. He's not perfect.
Is that the guy running for governor?
Yeah, but there's two people running for governor now because Bill Berrien just jumped in. Showman's the good guy though. He's got some minor issues from what I've seen, but mostly good, mostly solid. Big backer of Trump in both 2020 and 2024. He was and he's running his campaign too largely on the housing issue. He wants to lower housing, and he's got a comprehensive issues page too. That's another thing you look in. He's got like all of his plans down, what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. So he's someone who's obviously a lot better fit for the state. But there's going to be a lot of big money coming in for Berrien. So fingers crossed we can still get Showman the nomination. But all the good people are getting behind him. So if you live in Wisconsin, highly encouraged to look into Showman. Yeah, go on.
All right, so Chance has a $10 super chat. Thank you, Chance, very much. Obama ran as a moderate in 2008. No, he did not. He ran on Obama. Look, Obamacare was not moderate back then. I don't know if you realize. Okay,
let me just say, maybe by today's standards, it was a moderate campaign, but not by 2008 standards.
I think you're saying I think he's trying to say culturally moderate, but like in terms of the whole ticket, no, it was not a moderate ticket, dude. Not even remotely. Joe Biden.
Well, dude, if you're saying culturally, bro, everyone opposed gay marriage in 2008. Okay, like Bernie was like the only person who was in favor, and Donald Trump somehow he was weirdly like pro LGBT before all that stuff happened.
No, Trump was like neutral on gay marriage or even pro gay marriage, but here's the thing: Obama did not run as a moderate in 08, but he LARPed as one. That's a distinction very few people seem to kind of get.
I'm gonna be real though. I think him and most of these Dems never gave a shit about the gay issue. Like there's this whole idea that some on the right have that all these people are just like evil and they just want to see everything against God happen or whatever. I don't really see that. I think these people just like gay marriage was legal and they're just like, okay, let's pander to this group now. I think that's pretty much what happened. I don't think any of these people were like secretly gonna legalize gay marriage and then just like
right.
I don't think
Bill Clinton was a truly moderate candidate. Bill Clinton was their truly moderate candidate. They ran Obama as a guy who was only going to push the letter in a couple of places, and the place he's going to do was healthcare in a couple other places. And but the thing is, he turned out to push everything left after he won his second term. After he got his second term, he won by 4. His first term, he won by 8. McCain was a crap nominee, especially in the Rust Belt. How did McCain even get the nomination? Corrupt GOP, terrible GOP. The GOP completely walled off by DC, completely out of touch with anybody that remotely understands the voter base. That was the GOP. It's still a large portion of the GOP.
I'm just going to say this, dude. No Republican was winning 2008. Obama was also just a phenomenal candidate. Let's just get that. He was a phenomenal candidate combined with his recession. Nobody was beating Obama in 2008.
The recession, the housing bubble, and there were all of these problems that you couldn't blame on anybody but Republicans because they'd been in power for 8 years. And the war stuff was turning sour. I mean, the Democrats had always been anti-war, but their message was getting stronger as the years waned on.
What the fuck? Yeah, like in 2004, it made John Kerry.
I gotta send this. What the hell is this shit?
I was gonna say in 2004, like John Kerry, like made no sense because he voted for the Iraq War, then claimed to oppose it. Whereas Obama was kind of newer, and he wasn't in the Senate during the Iraq War. So he could get away with, flip-flopping a bit more.
Right. So yeah, no, I think McCain only got the nomination because of a deeply corrupt GOP. Obama won because the Democrat was always going to win, but he had a lot of star power to him back then. He was very well spoken. He was a good orator as long as he had a teleprompter. He just had a lot of great optics as a candidate. He was seen as kind of new, so he didn't have the longer someone's been in the system, the more corrupt they look, and he didn't have the dirt on him yet. So just Obama just really came off as a clean candidate in 2008. Let's see here. I did pull it up. It's on the screen right now. Governor Jeff Landry of Louisiana. Congratulations to Justin Bieber on the new album. If you have the intentions of going on a tour all around the world, I believe that hashtag Billy A. Bears in Louisiana would be ecstatic to welcome you here. Purple Heart, hashtag swag.
What year does he think this is, bro?
I don't know. He's got some weird staffers. I don't know.
I mean,
going
no,
on.
I feel kind of bad for him because he made that post a while ago where it was like, Louisiana is ranked 41st in education, and it was like, and here's the thing. That was actually because it was previously like 48th, so he was trying to show that it jumped, but he forgot to include that detail. So he just like celebrate. It would look like he was celebrating that it was like near the bottom of the country on education, but like he just has horrible political instincts. Also, there was the time right after there was that bombing in New Orleans that he like went out to eat steak. And then he made like this post where he was just like prayers for all the victims, and it was just a picture of him standing in front of a steakhouse about to like he just does not have very good political instincts. And I guess there's a reason he's gonna be the governor of a red state and probably not do anything else of consequence. That's what safe states do, I guess.
I guess as long as he's having fun, man. K-Cub for 2. Barian is also from Whitefish Bay. Nuff said. There's some guy that's been posting the same thing over and over again. I'm going to address.
Oh yeah, Whitefish Bay. That's for people who don't know. That's the Country Club Republican part of Milwaukee County. That's where all the Country Club Republicans.
Yeah,
live.
Country Club Republicans don't understand.
A lot of Bush Harris voters up there.
Oh gosh. Okay, so Save Yourself was asking, why do scandals only matter for GOP candidates? It barely affected Cal Cunningham. So I guess the 2-word answer is Mark Robinson. But going more into it, the boomers and the older Gen X are very obsessed with moralism, moral purity, with all these things. They still have a concept of back when there was a backbone to this country, and every person in the country had moral fiber.
It seems to affect Republicans more than Democrats. It's actually
right, because the Democrats are a bunch of hedonistic, nihilistic pieces of shit that don't care what happens to the country. They will let it crash and burn and spiral into death. That is why they are letting children pick marijuana on their fucking farms, and that instead of trying to like stop and be like, oh man, that's horrible, I mean, I feel so bad for that, they're just like, they try to change the subject. That is the behavior of someone who is guilty, who is deeply, deeply guilty and does not want to admit it. So yeah, no, Democrats are just hedonists. They're fully degenerated. The only issue, and the reason why I've been banging about it this whole stream, the only issue Democrats pretty much care about, morally speaking, is when they can perceive a child is being harmed. They don't, and I say that specifically, perceive. They don't perceive children being harmed by genital mutilation, and they don't perceive children being harmed by hormones. They perceive children being harmed in other places, though, and they get extremely morally outraged over that. It's the only thing that they get outraged over nowadays. Everything else,
other children are being harmed in another country.
Yeah,
that's when they get mad.
And any other issue domestically, they do not care. They're basically amoral beyond that. But Republicans and the young Republicans are becoming more amoral too. They're becoming amoral in a different sense. They're becoming atheistic and secular in a different sense. But it's different. So for some of these Gen Alpha and Gen Z people, they've kind of abandoned God in their politics, and so they don't really care about scandals.
Dude, I don't think Gen Alpha has politics yet. They're like the oldest ones are like what, 14?
Because of the internet, they do. I've seen some of these.
They're probably.
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess this is a generation that grew up watching Aiden Ross, you know. So I guess they're gonna have some.
I don't know. I mean, you probably still got some
takes.
that just put the Palestine flag on their bio for no reason.
I don't think that's really.
I think that's more Gen Z. Dude, I will say this. I think Gen Alpha, once they start voting, is gonna be like the most Republican voting bloc. Take it to the bank.
Here's the point. The greater point that kind of goes beyond like, oh, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, whatever. The older Republicans really care about morals. The younger Republicans care less about scandals. And because those older people are still here, the Gen X and the boomers are still around, and some of the older millennials, they're still going to care about these things, and it matters in primaries, and it matters and it even matters in generals. And so yeah, scandals matter more for Republicans because there are a large portion of Republicans that still actually believe in things and actually have morals. Democrats don't have morals. They have indulgences. They have extravagance. They have things that they want, material needs and wants. That's pretty much all that they have. And any morals you could construe for them are based off of the pantheon of political religions that the Democrats have made. So maybe they have moralism about climate change. Maybe they have it about veganism. Maybe they have it about like a bunch of other things. They don't have real morals, though. They don't have any real morals. That is why scandals matter for Republicans.
I will say this, Gen Alpha is not putting Palestine flag into their bios. I'll tell you exactly who is. The type of people who put Palestine flags in their bios and that kind of shit, they're either millennials, like younger millennials, or older Gen Z. Like, I know this exact demographic. It's people born between 1992, 1993, maybe a bit, that, and 2000 and 2000. That's the exact demographic. It's a very specific demographic. It's people who graduated high school before 2019, 2020, but after 2010. That's exactly who's putting Palestine flags in their bios en masse. It is not people who are 15 and watching Adam Ross right now, or Kai Sennett. I can tell you that for sure. It's people who.
I mean, dude, Kai Sennett has endorsed Eric Adams for re-election.
Patriot.
Yeah, dude. Eric Adams said that he's gonna let Kai Sennett do another giveaway if he wins. If you guys remember, Kai Sennett last time he did a giveaway in New York, it started a riot. And he formally apologized to Eric Adams for it, and they had an interview together. Yeah, I love politics in 2025. It's amazing.
Chance for 5. I agree the GOP was doomed in 2008. In 2012, on the other hand, they were not. Obama got lucky. The GOP sucked, and it nominated bad candidates against him. Well, I would argue Mitt Romney was a better candidate than John McCain. He wasn't the best candidate.
I don't know about that.
I mean, yeah, McCain lost by 10, or Romney lost by
8.
4. So yeah.
So McCain lost by 8. Romney lost by 4. The reason Romney lost by 4, and instead he could have lost by 1 or 2 points, but the entire last month of the campaign, Mitt Romney, instead of doing anything, he just disappeared off the face of the planet. He just disappeared.
By the way, breaking news, Donald Trump is in Texas touring the flood damage.
Yeah. Continue praying for those guys, by the way.
Yeah, sure. On the McCain-Romney thing, though, here's the thing. 2012 was a much better national environment for Republicans than 2008. I mean, we won the House. Wait, what did you say?
Republicans could have won. I genuinely think there were a couple things. I think we might have had to have a different candidate than Romney, but Romney could have gotten really close to winning. It was guaranteed, though, that but when Romney chose to, for the last month of his campaign, stop existing, we knew. And I'm just going to say it. You can call it conspiracy or whatever, but I think we were pretty convinced of the uniparty around here. It was just agreed that they were going to let Obama win again. That was just an agreement. The Republicans.
The one Republican who was around back then who probably could have won that election, and it's going to sound like a joke now, but Chris Christie.
No, you're right.
Yeah. It sounds stupid right now, but no, he was probably the one who could have won. That was his moment. And he didn't run. He ran 2 other times.
So don't get too upset over it, but yeah, that was kind of the situation we were dealing with.
I think Obama winning and re-election, though, was probably a necessary moment to get the right conditions for Trump to rise. Trump would have never rose if a Republican won in 2012.
The entire culture would have not taken the turn that it did if Obama did not have that second term. I don't think people realize how destructive Obama's second term was.
It was bad.
I think it would have happened anyway, because he would have just had moderate Republicans or wouldn't really have done anything.
If Obama had only had one term and it was decent, Obama with just his first term is so different than Obama with both his terms. I'm going to be honest. You look at 2009 to 2012, it was just a different president almost in terms of the way he behaved. And obviously he believed all the same things while he was doing it, but he was playing it safe so he could get reelected. Obama without his second term is a very different universe. I don't even know where to start talking about that alternate history kind of deal.
Yeah, like I think we're still recovering from the side effects of Obama's second term. I think in a weird way, Obama's second term, like the effects of it are just starting to die out. You know,
right?
But it's still
Also, something I want to say. There were news reports. I don't have it up on the screen, but oh, here we go. I have what Texan was talking about. President Trump and Lady Melania at Kerrville, the epicenter of the Texas floods. By the way, Kerrville was the place that was requesting the supplies from the Austin Fire Department. There was a bunch of liberals trying to say on Twitter that everybody was stupid for bringing up the fact that the Austin fire chief did not pre-deploy materials. They're like, "Oh, Austin's so far away, bro." Austin is not the place that was going to handle it. It wasn't their firefighters. It was materials going to Kerrville. And it's like there's people fight, and they're like, "You racist fucks, blaming the Austin fire chief for all of these deaths." No, he didn't understand the term reimbursement. The Austin fire chief did not understand the term reimbursement and failed to send critical supplies to the epicenter of the floods. You fucking retards. Yeah. So, anyways, that was something that pissed me off. But the other point I was going to make, there's like entirely different subject, by the way. But it was reported that Joe Rogan was trying to gaslight Trump into easing off of immigration. And that privately, Joe Rogan had slammed him for the ICE raids, and then had tried to convince him to like ease off on deporting farm workers and stuff like that.
Definitely. I mean, people forget that Joe Rogan is
not a conservative.
He's not a conservative. Like, he's just a podcaster who's like anti-woke, which is fine, but he's not like a serious political figure,
He's probably closer politically to like John Fetterman, unironically.
He's weird though. I think he's against deportation, but he's also against like more immigration. Like it's talked about that a lot. How he doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of dumb that way. But yeah, he doesn't want more.
It's because in his mixed fighting career, in his mixed fighting career, he gave himself brain damage, and then he decided to pile on the brain damage with heavy drugs and fucking marijuana. And this piece of shit is the same person that's making that's making his little doobies getting high off of child slave labor. Go fuck yourself, Joe Rogan. But yeah, no, I don't care. I've listened to plenty of Joe Rogan. I go fuck yourself. I don't care. If you want these raids to stop, if you want us to not keep uncovering the crimes of these business owners, of these Democrat aligned business owners that are now hiding child labor, sex trafficking, drug moving, all the stuff. I do not have an ounce of empathy or an ounce of anything in my heart for you. I want you gone more than these people that we're deporting. I want you to leave. I want you to leave. I want you to get the fuck out. You do not deserve to be in my country. Anyways.
Oh yeah, something else to discuss. So we got a lot of bad weather across the country. Now people are starting to claim on our side that it's man-made.
We have people on our side claiming what?
So it seems like now it's a bipartisan consensus that all the weather in our country is man-made.
Oh, yeah, no. I was making a joke about that the other day because there's a lot of people talking about, oh, yeah, the weather machines from the people, they made the floods in Central Texas. Guys, there was a tropical storm that, developed and then sent the floodwaters there, guys. It wasn't
we love our MAGA boomers who keep thinking every time a storm hits a red area, it's the government just making the weather. Like, we love the boomers.
Hey John, are you a rhino sheep? Are you a rhino sheep?
Yeah, you're a sheep. You don't know
the rhino sheep. You think you think that winter was natural.
Back in the day, only blue areas would have storms. Now red areas have them too. Horrible. You know, God would move the storms around the red areas before, but now they go through. You know.
So yeah, it was only a left wing take that the weather was man made. Now it's a bipartisan thing.
So
These
the
midterms,
political
yeah.
for 20.
So weather modification's about to become a political issue in the midterms. Have fun with
He
that.
says, anyways, guy whose thread we were reading earlier, he says, appreciate you addressing my remarks. I want to promote ways to counter them. I understand why you didn't want to read the whole thing. I heard your pain. If any of y'all want to read my whole thread, my X post is open to all. No, like I understand. There might have been stuff I was personally upset about in there, but the main reason we didn't finish reading your thread is because I have attention deficit disorder. That was the primary reason we didn't finish reading your thread. I apologize, sir. Thank you for the super chat, though. No, just being honest there, being real, because it's real American, right? We got to be real about our ADHD moments. I just saw what Luke posted, so I'm putting it up for everybody to see. Pierre Poilievre gave Donald Trump a bitch slap for his latest round of tariffs. The orange Cheeto has lost his mind. Do you stand with Pierre Poilievre?
This is Canadian conservative journalism, by the way.
Wait, Canadian conservative journalism that still exists? Like, you mean like Ezra Levin?
The orange
Yeah,
Cheeto
Mark
with a
Slapinski. Okay, Mark Slapinski is a very interesting individual. This is a guy who basically on election night, this was his response to Canadian election night. So before the polls closed, he said, Pierre's going to win this thing because two women friends of his in Toronto who've never voted before were going out to vote conservative, which first of all, it's a parliament, so voting in a safe liberal seat does not mean anything. Like that doesn't change any of the results. And then after the election, he claimed that Mark Carney was getting help from Xi Jinping and Donald Trump to stuff the ballot boxes.
Oh wait, this guy's a Canadian conservative.
Yeah, but he thinks Trump, Xi Jinping, and Mark Carney had this like agreement to rig the election.
Oh yeah, the Canadian conservative.
Are you guys gonna be okay if I explode real quick? Are you? Is it gonna be cool? Gonna be cool. Okay, yeah, Pierre Poilievre. Hello, Pierre Poilievre. You lost your election doing this, you dumb fuck! You lost your seat! You lost the whole fucking Canada, and your country is about to fall apart! Alberta's talking about leaving. Saskatchewan's gonna leave. All these fuckers are gonna leave your fucking confederation because you're a dumb piece of shit that can't keep your country under control. You lost. You lost.
Okay,
you
I'm
lost
gonna
everything.
have to do a little fact checking. According to opinion polls, only about 20% of Alberta supports separatism.
Yeah, no, it's closer to 40%. You're dumb. I don't care. They're going to get it. They have a whole year and a half. They have a whole year and a half to get to over 50%, and they're going to have the question on the referendum. It's not 20%. It's 40% right now. It's 40%. But fucking Poilievre, you're gonna lose another election, Poilievre. You're not gonna get your country back, Poilievre, because you don't understand your own people. I'm not saying I do, also, but you clearly don't.
Pierre Poilievre also supported a higher immigration rate than Mark Carney.
Well, yeah, of course, Gavin's like so incompetent. He's like the Canadian Romney, but probably worse in some aspects.
Dude, I said he's to the left of Carney on immigration. He deserved to lose. I'm glad Carney won. And plus, we got way better trade deals with Carney than we would have gotten with Pierre.
Poilievre is shit. He's a shit candidate. He's running his party. They're all saying, oh, he's running the party so well. He's got everybody on the same page. They're on the same page of losing.
Okay, yeah, can I say this too? I gotta say this, bro. Canada, they literally had all of these star candidates wanted to run in 2025. There was this guy, what's his name? Peter MacKay. He was this guy in Nova Scotia. He was like a political bigwig in Nova Scotia. He wanted to make a political comeback. Would have won his seat easily. Pierre Poilievre's team, because in Canada they don't have primaries, so the party just selects people. They're like, no, we're going to give it to a 20-year-old Indian staffer of ours. Obviously, the Indian staffer lost his seat. And that happened in many seats across the country. All these star candidates wanted to run, and they just said no, and they put Indian staffers in to make the party look more diverse. And how'd that go?
We're not racist. Yeah, we're gonna do DEI.
Pierre Poilievre acting like a smug lesbian dyke does not make him more popular with Canadians. I don't know how he's supposed to approach Donald Trump, but I would start off, Pierre, with anything other than what you're doing right now, you smug little shit. I would start off anywhere else. I think doing literally anything other than what you're doing right now would be better for your prospects going into the future. Okay? Yeah, no. This is the Canadian Conservative Party is losing and failing. This country deserves to die, bro. This country deserves to die. I don't know how else to put it.
I don't want to annex Canada, though, for many reasons. I don't want their libtards. I don't want, like, Trudeau's fucking immigrants. I don't want, like, I don't want politics.
I will say, too, man, I saw a video, I saw an image of people who were canvassing for the yes on Alberta separatism referendum. All the door knockers were Indian. So.
They're not Indian. You're just being gay. You're just being really gay right now, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you,
I've tuned into the live streams that Jeffrey Rath and the actual Alberta Prosperity Project do. They're not fucking Indians. They're white people. The Indians don't want separation from Alberta. They want benefit from Canada. They want benefits from Canada.
Party,
the Republican Party and the actual Alberta Prosperity Movement are two different things. The Republicans, it's almost just like a counter out, basically. The Republican Party is meant to splinter Alberta into multiple different factions going for separatism. It's just stupid. I don't want our country.
Alberta's never going to leave Canada. It's not.
I don't care what you think. You have so many takes that I disagree with. I don't care. You can tell the people.
I'm just saying.
I don't care.
I follow Canadian politics a lot more
No,
closely
you
than
don't.
you do.
You don't.
I do.
You have shit takes on all of the Anglosphere.
Okay,
you
okay.
have
When
shit
Alberta
takes on the entire
fails,
Anglosphere, dude.
Get back to me next year when Alberta separatism loses 80-20. Get back to me then.
It's not going to, dude. You are so off. I am going to rub this in your face so hard next year. I'm going to rub it in your face, bro. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So it's because you
I think it's a good time to stop the stream. You can clip that, guys, if you want at the end. This is a good time to end the stream.
Okay, Zeppelin, make that the make
your
my
gosh.
web
Zeppelin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the stream. Please support the people in Texas. Please pray for them. Please continue supporting our law enforcement and ICE raids. We need to clean up this country. We need to expose all the evil and make sure you do not let these people get away with what they're doing. Do not let them get away with what they're doing. Otherwise, I want all of you to have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to Luke. Luke's doing a video later today. Look forward to his video. I'll post a video tomorrow. I'm actually just going to make you guys listen to JD Vance over the weekend. Otherwise, God bless all of you and Godspeed to all.